last session we discussed how to go beyond pairs of opposite, and now point number 11, which is a very, very important point, and if it is not understood correctly, one can land up into great danger. Narada Rishi says, point number 11, to cross Maya, he says, he who gives up even the Vedas, Vedan api sanyasyati. Vedas are the most beautiful book we have, the scriptures which is our authority, the pramana for a seeker to know the truth, and which is such a sacred text. This sacred text serves its purpose when a seeker follows it keenly. But after learning the Vedas, understanding what it is to reach the Lord, if one does not drop it, one could land up in great danger. Acharya Shankara says, Shabdajalam Maharanya. The play of words are of a great danger. It's like a great forest. One could be caught in it and one could be lost forever. So it's important for us to know that the scripture serves a purpose. After it has served its purpose, one should drop the scriptures and move forward. It is probably the only literature in the world where the book says, after reading me, drop me and move on. I don't see any other sacred book in the world says that. The Vedas say that. After reading the Vedas, one should drop it and move forward. It is like a ladder. You need a ladder to climb. Once you are on top, you have used the ladder, go beyond the ladder, leave the ladder behind. If you don't leave the ladder and you're going to carry the ladder, then your journey becomes very difficult. So we land up in a very difficult journey if we do not know to go beyond Vedas. It is like how we celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi, how we celebrate Durga Puja. In our culture, we worship the form. After a point of time, when the form is being worshipped, we take the form and go immerse it in a river, in a lake, in the sea. Immerse it. Why? The form is needed for a while, and once the form has served its purpose, we should go beyond the form. I can't hold on to the form. Form is like a rear view mirror. You're driving and you're seeing in the front, but what you notice is what is actually at the back. In the rear view mirror, your vision is in the front, but what you notice is what is behind. Form also in the beginning is something which is very important, and through that form, once we start quietening the mind, from that form, whatever that idol was, we recognize the ideal which is within. You look forward, you look outside to the idol, but you recognize the ideal within. That's why all these forms have different significance, different meanings, very symbolic. For example, in our culture, we have given Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Shiva, Vishnu, all blue in color. Blue is a color of infinity. Why a color of infinity? If you stand on earth and you see the sky will look blue in color. There is no sky that way, it's only space continues, no end. Where you can't see an end of something, where the end cannot be seen, for people living on earth, that endless will appear blue in color. God has no end. Infinity has no end. That's why it is infinity, where there is no limitation to it. So that has to be blue in color for the people living here. So we have given all our gods blue color. So now that is what we understand. Oh, that Lord is infinity, and that infinity is also me. So I look forward, look outside, but recognize the ideal within. After recognizing the ideal, one should take the form and go immerse the form. The form has served its purpose. The purpose of the form is to quieten the mind and make us turn within. The moment that has happened, we don't need the form anymore. However beautiful the form may be, The culture says, take it and go and immerse it. So we immerse it and we come. So that means you have moved from form to formless, grateful to form, but you must drop the form and go within. Same way, books are brilliant. They are very, very important. They guide us, they show us the way, but holding on to the books is not realizing what the books have taught us. What the books have told, we must understand that and then go beyond. So Narad Rishi comes out with a very daring statement. He says, Vedan api sanyasyati. He who gives up even the Vedas will cross Maya. Why? Because there is one great danger holding on to knowledge. Knowledge gives you a kind of a happiness. It's a sattvic bondage. Tamoguna bondage, Rajoguna bondage can be easily crossed over. Sattvaguna bondage is attachment to happiness and attachment to knowledge. There are many, many people who are attached to these two and they don't go beyond. They read the book, but they are not able to live what the book has said, and they keep reading more and more books. I have come across quite a few people who say they have read the Bhagavad Gita, they have read some of the Upanishads, now they are reading Guru Granth Sahib, and next they are going to read Dhammapada of the Buddhist, and many other cultures which are there. These people are widely read people. What we need to do is well read, not widely read. Widely read, there is no end. You can go on reading, and there is a kind of a joy which is sattvic joy, and that can be an addiction, which is very difficult to go beyond. That's why Acharya Shankara says, Shabda Jala Maharanya. It's a great danger. Like it's a great forest, one could be lost in it. So Narad also voices out the same thing. He says one should drop the Vedas because one could be lost, attached to this knowledge, go on acquiring more and more and more and miss out the truth. That's why even in the beautiful text Bhaja Govindam, Acharya Shankara says, when he saw an old man at a very old age memorizing grammar rules, he looks at him and he says, why are you memorizing grammar rules at this age of yours? Instead seek Govind. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Those grammar rules you are memorizing are not going to help you to transcend Maya, are not going to help you to understand the truth. They are not going to help you to realize the self. There's no need to acquire such knowledge at that ripe old age. At a young age, yes, when you have to interact into the world, these knowledges could be handy. But as you grow older and older, mind should be more with the Lord, not with the worldly information. But there can be such a joy in acquiring that. In that addiction, one may miss out the essence. So it's a sattvic bondage, attachment to knowledge and happiness. The rishis of the yore are very, very careful. They don't want the seekers to be lost into something like that. That's why they give that very powerful instruction where the Rishi says, Narad Rishi says here, go beyond Vedas, don't hold on to the Vedas. My Guru, Swami Chinmayananda used to say, I am only a pointer and not the pointed. That's a very powerful statement. Because many a times people look up to the Guru. Guru is only a pointer and not the pointed. So when we keep looking at the pointer, we are not seeing the pointed. If, let us say, we are on an open air in a park, and there's a beautiful bird flying, and I say, look, 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 there's a beautiful bird flying. And you look at my hand and not at the bird. Looking at my hand is missing the bird. But looking at my hand and moving in that direction, when you move to the tip of my finger and from there you take off, leaving the finger behind, if you move in that direction, there is a possibility you catch the bird, you see the bird. So if you keep looking at the pointer, the pointed would be missed. Many a times, many students make this mistake. They hold on to the pointer and miss the pointed. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, it is only in the absence of the teacher the student grows faster. Sigmund Freud said a statement, only when the father dies, the son becomes a man. Till then, he remains only as a child. When the father disappeared, the son takes the responsibility, he becomes a man. So, sometimes only in the absence of certain things, people can grow, like a teacher. Teacher has to inspire, but looking at the pointer is not seeing the pointed. So, one should drop the pointer. Similarly, one should drop the form. Similarly, one should drop the book. So here the teacher, Narada Rishi, tells us so clearly, saying, don't hold on to the book because you could be lost, be aware. That's a caution. Now, this is point number 11. When we have gone through 10 points, we have to understand point number 11. Without overcoming attachment, without serving a great master, without giving the feeling of minus and all other points, without doing any of them, if I straight away decide I will drop the Shastra, then I would be lost. I would ruin myself without any progress. So having developed the 10, then drop the Veda, not before. So here one should understand, after cultivating the last 10 points, the 11th point, Narad says, drop the Veda, because Veda by itself can be a bondage if we have not understood it correctly. It serves its purpose. Having understood that, one should drop the book. It's like a boat. A boat helps you to cross the river. Once you cross the river, leave the boat. No doubt the boat helped you to cross the river. You must be grateful to the boat, but leave the boat and go beyond. No, this boat helped me. I won't drop the boat. I won't give up on the boat. That means you have not crossed. You're still in the river. So one has to leave the boat and then move. Same way, the books, the Shastras help us, they guide us. Having understood that much, we must realize the self. If we don't do that and we continue doing it, there is a possibility that we could be attached to sattvic bondage, and that is not realizing the truth. So that was point number 11. So I caution again, drop the Vedas has to be understood correctly. After cultivating 10 points, the point number 11 is drop the form, drop the book, drop the pointer, not before. Having cultivated, one must drop that. 11 points are over. And the last point on who crosses Maya, Narad Rishi says, Kevalam avichinnam anuragam labate. Undivided devotion to the Lord will help us cross the Maya. Undivided devotion, meaning we must first become a devotee. We must first become a seeker, then all other roles which we play. Many a times what we do in life is we identify with all other roles and then also we are a devotee. It should not be that way. You must be a devotee first and then all other roles you play. Like, I am a devotee and a teacher. I am a devotee and a student. I am a devotee and a seeker. Like that, you can be a father, but you must be a devotee who is a father. You must be a devotee who is a husband. You must be a devotee who is a mother. Not a mother who is a devotee. Not a father who is a devotee. You must be a seeker who is a businessman. A seeker who is a CEO. Not a CEO and a seeker. So various roles which we play in life, in all those roles, the first and foremost must be, I am a devotee. If this shift happens, then your priority in life has changed. A devotee wants nobody but Lord. A seeker wants nothing but the self. So to become that, we have to shift our roles. Let us become a devotee who plays all other roles. This is called Kevalam Avichinnam Anuragam Labate. One who has got this kind of a devotion, he would seek the truth. He would attain the truth. So this devotion is important. How do we develop this? How do I develop this kind of a devotion? What is devotion actually? Devotion in Vedanta, in our culture, we point out devotion as love for the higher is devotion. Love for the lower is attachment to things and objects and various other things. One is attached, that is for the lower. Same, the feeling when it is turned towards the lower, it is attachment. When the same love is turned towards the higher, it is called devotion. Deva Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, all higher. When the mind turns, when the love for the higher, it is called devotion. How do I develop this devotion for the higher? How did I develop love for various things? When I see something again and again, slowly attachment for it happens. When this attachment slowly comes, over a period of time, this attachment becomes love. Why? Because I was encountering it again and again. Probably I was seeing it, probably I was listening to it. Slowly I get attached, and then that can develop into love. Same way, I should know more about God. Spend more time in satsang. When I spend more time in satsang, read His glories, understand what God is, more I spend time on it, more love for that develops. And once love develops, love is so powerful, it will make you know the self more. Love motivates you to know God more, and that love for God makes you know God more, and that knowledge in turn makes you love God more. So knowledge supports bhakti, bhakti supports knowledge. It's a circle. Doesn't matter where you start, you will move towards the other. You start knowing the Lord, then you start loving the Lord. And when you start loving the Lord, you want to know the Lord more. So knowledge and devotion goes supporting each other. So that way, if we start knowing the Lord more and more, it would help us to develop more devotion. I read a very, very striking anecdote. There was a devotee who was walking to Badrinath. Those days, nowadays you have transport up to the temple. Those days in the Himalayas, people have to walk long distance. Days together they need to walk. So when they were walking, when this particular person was walking, he saw someone coming in front of him. When he saw this person coming in front of him, he asked him, "Sir, how far is Badrinath from here?" The devotee who was coming, who was returning from the temple, looked at this person and he said, "Listen, my dear, this is not the way to do a yatra. You will find it very difficult because it's going to be 3 or 4 days more for you to walk all the way, and it would be tedious. Don't do it this way." Then he said, "How should I do it?" He said, "Send your heart to Badrinath. Body will follow. That way you will reach faster. And that way the tedious journey would not be tedious." Why? Because the heart is with the Lord, body simply follows. So our heart must become more with the Lord. How do I develop it? Knowing more about the Lord. That way, spending time regularly in satsang, spending time more and more with the scriptures, reading, all this will develop that kind of a love. When that love develops in our heart, then we become a devotee and perform all other rules. So if one can understand this much, that I am a devotee first and then a father, I am a devotee first and then a parent, or I am a devotee first and then a son, then everything has changed. What we are today is, I am a husband, wife, mother, father, daughter first and then a devotee. This change should happen. We can't be a father, mother, etc. We must be a devotee who is a father, who is a mother. If this way we do, even the duty what we have to do, the role we play would be very, very good. A devoted father, a devoted mother would do their duties so well. So if this shift can happen, I think one would reach the higher levels of devotion, and that is point number 12. So Narada Rishi gives us 12 points to cross Maya. To transcend Maya, he gives us 12 points, and he doesn't stop there. After the 12 points, the next one he says is sa tarati sa lokam starayati. He crosses, he helps others cross. Sa tarati, he crosses, he verily crosses and helps others cross. Lokam starayati. This is something, one of the best things one can do in life. You get to know about the Lord, you move towards Him, and through you let others know about Him. You cross and you help others to cross. Really speaking, if one can sit quietly, vivikta sthanam sevate, the fourth point, when you sit quietly and spend time, introspect that way, there can be one question coming to your mind. Very naturally, it can come over a period of time in solitude. This is my life, and what is the best thing I can do with it? My life, and what is the best thing I can do with it? When this question comes, we start looking out for answers. This is my life. What is the best thing I can do? Be a father, be a mother, be a successful person. What is the best thing we can do in our life? The best thing we can do in our life is attain moksha. Get yourself free. Get enlightened. Become a devotee. Realize God. Have His darshan. That is the best thing one can do. So the best thing in life, if we have to understand, we have to become enlightened. We have to become free from bondage. That is the best thing. What is the second best thing you can do in life? In life, what is the second best we can do? Once you have realized, you have understood what freedom is, what liberation is, help others to liberate. This is the second best. You have crossed, and through you, you help others cross. The second best. Third best, if you ask me, recognize your swadharma. What is your swadharma? So that you recognize your swadharma, that which you are made up of, what you are, and through that path, know and realize the Lord. So the first goal is realizing the Lord. The second would be through you, let others benefit. Third, recognize your own swadharma so that it helps you to recognize the Lord. Priorities of goals. This is how it should be. So if this way one does, one becomes free. And not only one becomes free, one helps others free. In fact, in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna indicates to Arjuna, he says, Arjuna, among the devotees, the most dear to me is the one who imparts this knowledge. One who lives and practices this knowledge and imparts this knowledge to others are the most devoted person to me. What he meant is anyone who supports spiritual programs in whichever way they can. It's not only preaching, in any way, whoever supports spiritual program, that means they are supporting evolution. From human, they are helping one to become divine. So whoever does that, Krishna says such a person is the most devoted among all devotees, the best among the devotees. So we have an opportunity. After going through these 12 points of what Narad Rishi has said, and then Narad says, if you practice these 12 points, you cross and you can also help others cross. That way we become a devotee of par excellence who crosses and who helps others cross. This is how one should go beyond Maya. This is a very small text. I mean, the very small portion we have taken of a beautiful text called Narada Bhakti Sutra. If you can remember these 12 points and go through them one by one, read, reflect, write notes on it, think what you think, how important this point is. That way, if you make a deeper study and keep revising 2 or 3 points daily, in a month's time, you would have done 2 or 3 revisions. And that would make us very clear, very focused in what we have to achieve. With that, we conclude this session of Who Crosses Maya by Narad Rishi. Thank you.